Salutations, good people of the internet. Welcome to my first movie review, and expect to see a lot of them, considering that out of movies, TV shows, books, and video games, these are much easier to review than the other three. Anyway, I actually tried to record this before, but I wasn't satisfied, so I had to delete the entire recording and start all over again. Isn't that just great? Isn't that just the greatest thing ever? And with my channel trailer, I said that I was going to have more subscribers than PewDiePie. This is probably not going to happen, but as of now, I have 5 subscribers. I mean, at least I got some subscribers out of there. Anyway, this is going to be my first review, and that's what's going to define this channel, as it is YouTube's most honest channel. So here, I'll give you an honest review of Star Wars. Star Wars. Star Wars is a North American film, a space opera epic of North American film. This movie is directed and written by George Lucas. It was produced by Gary Kurtz. It was released to theaters on May 25th, 1977, greeted with widespread critical acclaim upon release. This movie is one of the most revolutionary and important films made in the history of cinema. This is definitely one of my favorite movies of all time, along with Citizen Kane and this movie's 2 sequels. And notice how I meant 2 sequels and not like 5 sequels. This movie has a great story, great characters, and great special effects for their time. They might look a little cheap now, but remember, this was made in 1977, and the special effects still look 1,000,000 times better than the effects in the Star Wars prequels, which I will cover later, but after I cover The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. This movie has a classic story known by many. I will cover this in a review, as well as what I think of the characters and what I think about the film all around, giving it a percent rating from 1 to 100. Well, let's get started. The story in Star Wars is one that has been known for generations, but the truth about the story is that it was recycled from The Hidden Fortress, and George Lucas even admitted to copying the film's plot. But even if the story isn't original, it's still very good. The premise of the story is that the rebellion against the evil Galactic Empire is under danger when Princess Leia is captured by Darth Vader. Thankfully, Leia sent 2 droids, R2-D2 and C-3PO, to planet Tatooine with plans to destroy the Death Star. The droids eventually encounter Luke Skywalker, a farm boy who lives with his aunt and uncle. R2 plays a message with Leia as the recorder. Luke notices that she mentions someone named Obi-Wan Kenobi, who he doesn't know of, but he does know someone named Ben Kenobi, who Luke soon learns that Ben is Obi-Wan, while also learning about Obi-Wan's pastime. After Luke's aunt and uncle dies, he knows that he must become a Jedi. Luke goes to a bar, meeting Han Solo and Chewbacca, who will give them a ride off Tatooine. After landing on the Death Star, Obi-Wan dies, and Luke needs to go to Planet Yon to destroy the Death Star. The story is more of a coming-of-age story than anything, seeing that Luke learns his true capabilities as the film progresses. But either way, the writing in the film is amazing, giving the characters more likability and emotion, with also giving the story more depth. Well, with the story, it's not like the concept that's really good. I mean, the concept's cool, but it's the execution that really steals the show. The pacing in the movie is amazing, as the true danger of the film gets more threatening as it goes on. The film also has great action scenes, particularly the Death Star battle at the end. But death Obi-Wan's death is the most emotional and powerful scene in the entire film. Seeing the character that trained Luke to use the Force disappear
is just as shocking to the viewer as it is to Luke. Overall, the plot in Star Wars is a near flawless coming of age story that will keep the viewer in astonishment from start to end, even if it is a ripoff.
I've already rambled on and on about the story in Star Wars, but what about the characters? Do they work well with the story? Well, yes. In fact, the best part about Star Wars is the characters. They all make you care about what they have to go through to destroy the Empire. Even the bad guys are really good characters, and they're all developed really well too. But what about the characters as individuals? How do they stand by themselves? Well, that is a question I can and will answer. The first character I'll take a look at is R2-D2. R2-D2 is a troublemaking droid sent by Princess Leia on her mission. He doesn't offer that much to the film. I mean, he can't talk at all, but he is used mostly for comic relief. And he is a really good character, but I honestly don't even know why I like him. I mean, he can't talk at all, so I guess it's just a mystery why I like him so much. I really don't know. The only thing I have to say about him is that he's a good character. C-3PO is a sassy droid sent with plans to destroy the Death Star by Princess Leia. He's definitely used for comic relief, but still a really good character. But like R2, I can't understand why I like him so much. So that's all I really have to say for this one. Chewbacca is a Wookiee that hangs out with Han Solo. Again, he's more of a comic relief character, as he only makes one noise throughout the entire film, but he's still a solid character. And that's, again, all I have to say for him. Han Solo is a human character that has sort of a bad boy character in him, even though he is an adult. He might be the worst human character in the film, well, the worst main human character in the film, but he's still an awesome character, and he's also one of the most developed. He also is very developed as he learns to appreciate people rather than himself as the film goes on. Obi-Wan Kenobi is the wise old man character. He knows a lot about the Force and a lot about being a Jedi, and he passes that knowledge down to Luke. He is one of the best characters in the movie, and that's probably because of his wisdom. When he dies, he becomes one with the Force and guides Luke through the Death Star battle, as well as sending messages to Luke through his head. Even if he dies, Obi-Wan still remains one of the best characters in Star Wars. Princess Leia is a human character that was captured by Darth Vader. She might seem cliche as she's the princess that needs to be saved, but she's actually a very good character that sadly doesn't develop that much. Though she does have a relationship with Luke and Han during the film, which only grows in this film's 2 sequels. Finally, we're getting to the main villain of this film, Darth Vader. Darth Vader is definitely one of the most threatening villains ever. And while he isn't developed, well, most villains aren't, he still is, like I said, very threatening and is a very good character. He force chokes people, and he completely destroys some of the rebels during their fight on the Death Star. Those things show that Darth Vader doesn't play around, and that's probably for the best, because if he did, then we wouldn't get a villain this good. And finally, last but not least, is the main character and the best character in the film, Luke Skywalker, who's the most developed in the film as he becomes from a farm boy whiner to, well, a more powerful farm boy whiner, at least in this movie. And also, I gotta say, he's probably one of the most feminine males I've ever seen in a movie. But that's not against him at all. He's still a very well-developed character that learns about his true capabilities as the film goes on. He's the main reason why this is a coming-of-age story. And that's really all I have to say. He's a very well-developed character that goes through a lot as the film goes on. Overall, the characters in Star Wars are very fun and very three-dimensional. Honestly, there isn't really a better batch of characters you can find in another movie. I know there are characters that I missed, like the aunt and uncle and that old guy that I don't remember the name, too, that hangs out with Darth Vader, but But overall, the characters in Star Wars are very solid, and probably the best character roster list I've seen in a movie. And that's what I have to say about the characters. They're just very memorable and likable. In conclusion, Star Wars is one of the best movies ever made. It has an amazing story and characters, amazing special effects for their time, and very solid pacing. This is definitely one of the best movie of 1977 and definitely one of the best movies of the 1970s. The only thing I can say about this movie is that the Force was definitely with it. I'm going to give this movie a 97%. So, that's it for this review. And see you next time when the next video is going to be about. Well, I'm not sure what it's going to be about. But I can tell you it's going to be uploaded on Saturday. Anyway, goodbye.